Are you looking for a healthy lunch alternative? Stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome to Cooking with Chef Rich. Today we're making an Italian quinoa bowl. Yummy, yummy. I have some quinoa over here and water to cook that in, and actually a little bit of chicken base to add to the water. I have an eggplant, a zucchini, a 15-ounce can of cannellini beans, an onion, a large onion chopped, some basil chiffonade, some lemon juice, salt, pepper, and dried oregano, some Parmesan cheese, some garlic, and a little bit of sugar, and one 29-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. So this is actually a relatively easy recipe to make. We're going to start off by cooking our quinoa. I'm going to add our water to a pot, and I'm going to bring this up to a boil. There it goes. Okay, so it took a little while. It took 5 minutes. All right, next we're going to jump in and we're going to start with this stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to be sautéing our onions, a little bit of olive oil, just literally a teaspoon or two. Try to keep it a little healthy. We're going to add our onions directly to the pan. Our pan is on high heat. And these are going to saute for probably a good 7 or 8 minutes. So I will show you what they look like in 7 or 8 minutes. See you shortly. So our water is just coming up to a boil. We are going to add our chicken base. If I didn't say this already, I'll be putting the recipe in the description down below. And we're going to also add our quinoa. And we're going to just give it a stir. And our onions are going nicely, as you can see. Actually, they're pretty good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our garlic to our onions. And give this a nice stir. And we're going to cook this just for about a minute or two. As soon as the quinoa comes back up to a boil, I'm going to cover it and turn down the heat to low and just let it simmer for about 20 minutes, 15 minutes maybe. So anyway, see you in a minute or two. Our garlic has been sauteing just for about a minute. And next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add our eggplant. And I'm going to add about a half a cup of water. I'm going to cook this just for probably about 5 to 7 minutes until the eggplant gets a little soft, and I will show you what to do in 7 minutes. So a couple minutes ago it ran out of water. I did add about another half cup of water. Right now the eggplant is about halfway cooked. Like I just tasted it, and the eggplant's like, it's somewhat tender but not totally tender. So at this point I'm going to be adding my crushed tomatoes. And I'm also going to add our seasoning, our salt, pepper, and oregano. And the last thing I'm going to be adding is our beans. And we're going to cook this out just for probably about 7 to 10 minutes. I'm probably going to turn I'm going to mix it through and through. And then I'm going to turn the heat down to medium. Oh, I also changed pots if you haven't noticed. The other pot wouldn't have been big enough. I will show you what this looks like in about 7 or 8 minutes. See you shortly. So our quinoa is now done cooking, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of plastic wrap. I'm going to cover this, and what's going to happen is this is going to fluff up really, really nicely. And I'm going to take it off the heat and just let it sit for about 10 minutes. And as far as this goes, so our eggplant is almost done cooking, and now what we're going to do, it's about 80% cooked. Now we're going to add our zucchini and cook this out for probably another 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to give that a really good mix, and I will show you what it looks like in 5 to 10 minutes. See you shortly. So if you look over here, as this is cooking, this is very, very, very thick. I'm going to add just a half a cup of water to thin this out, and I'm going to put all this in the recipe down below, just so you have an idea. But being that it's really thick, I'm just going to, like I said, thin it out a bit. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Our zucchini have been cooking for right about 7 minutes, and they're pretty tender at this point. They still have a little bit of crunch to them. Some of them are a little more crunchy, some of them are a little more well done, but that's fine. We're gonna add our basil. I have actually added water to it 1 or 2 times. This is lemon juice. You'll see how this is very, very thick. So I've added water twice to it to thin it out just a little bit. You don't want it to be too thick. So just to show you my quinoa, if you look at my quinoa, it's like really nice and fluffy, you know. So now I'm just gonna give this a very, very good mix. I've tasted it. Overall, it's really good. And I'm gonna put it on a plate and I'll show you what it looks like. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. So I put our Italian vegetables on a plate with the quinoa. I know I said a bowl earlier. To me, it looks a lot better on a plate. So you can take a look at it. I garnished it with a little bit of parsley and Parmesan cheese. So if you like Parmesan cheese, by all means. My cameraman David wanted me to mention, anytime I do something with a red sauce, like I've done a Ratatouille and Eggplant Caponata, just making a marinara. When I was at the Culinary Institute of America, I had a chef, and anything with a red sauce, we always finish with a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of sugar, and some basil. Anytime I cook something that's in a red sauce, you notice I always finish it with lemon juice, basil, and just a small amount of sugar, like a tablespoon or so. You don't need a lot of sugar, just kind of brings it up a little bit. I've also seen people use balsamic vinegar as opposed to lemon juice, both being acids, and it kind of just brings up the dish a little bit. So I did want to mention that one to you. And we're going to taste it. Quinoa, if you look at it, is really nice and fluffy. When you cook quinoa, a lot of people will go like 1.5 to 1 or even 2 to 1 to get like a nice fluffy consistency. If you go 1 to 1, simmer it with it covered until all the liquid is evaporated, and then immediately take it off the heat and cover it with plastic wrap. You'll get like a nice fluffy quinoa. So that's just like a little bit of a trick. Anyway. Has a really, really nice flavor. As I was making it, one of the things I realized, this is a cross between Eggplant Caponata and a Ratatouille with beans added. So actually very, very similar to both of those dishes, with the exception of the white beans, which just adds a little bit of protein and just makes it a little bit healthier. So really, really nice dish, has great flavor. Quinoa gives a little bit of an additional texture in your mouth. So it's a really, really nice dish. And if you like quinoa and you like vegetarian style dishes, you will love this. This is great. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and tell me what type of vegetarian dishes you like to make. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and be safe, everyone. I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.